Hello, welcome to another interesting episode on Trash It. So again, today's topic is a bit of a sober one, okay? But before we get into it, we've got the usual host in the panel. We've got Talia, we've got Jude, and we've got Sade, okay? Sade giving us the blonde bombshell today, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the topic we're going to be talking about today is what's been blowing up on social media, and you keep hearing different sides to the story every day. Different bloggers saying their bit, different friends of the victim saying their bit, family members coming out and saying their bit. Okay, and I'm sure you know the story we're about to talk about is this Abimbola and IVD. Okay, Ike Ogona ish situation that happened recently. For those of you who haven't heard the story, I'll just give a brief description of what happened, okay? And to be honest with you, this story is so broad and there's so many elements of it that I'm just going to try as much as I can just to give a brief description of what happened. So basically, there's this lady by the name of Abimbola. She's been in a relationship of quite, apart from what people have described, it's a toxic relationship that she's been in with this guy called IVD. She has 5 children for him, and the relationship has been riddled with domestic violence and all sorts of things. But eventually, what happened recently, I think it was on the 15th of October. I'm sorry if I'm not right there, where she decided, or they had another argument, a big argument, and she will get into the details later. But anyway, there was a fire, and unfortunately, she got burnt in the fire. And by the time they rushed her to hospital, she had already died because she suffered 100% burn and she did not survive it. So if you guys are avid followers of this channel, of this show, you will know that we talk about domestic violence all the time. We've had people like Victoria Yama coming to tell us a story. The videos are there for you to have a look at. And we've had other different domestic violence issues that have come up and we've talked about. But what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to sway a bit from the domestic violence, because you know what we say on the show: try as much as you can to leave, even though it's very difficult. Try and get help. There are NGOs out there that might be able to support. But the aspects of this that we're going to be looking at today is the time that this lady, the things that this lady Abimbola did for this IVD, her husband, whilst they were in this relationship. So apparently she had been going out with him they've been together for over 32 years. She started dating him when she was still a teenager, and she stopped going to school. She gave him all the school fees that she was given because she wanted him to do well. And you know, some women, when they love really hard. And also some women just want their husband to do well because they believe that when the man does well, then they're sort of covered. But unfortunately, this day and age, you find that whether a man is doing well or whether he isn't doing well, he will still cheat. He will still have side chicks and concubines there. Okay. So now, what we want to look at is, we've trashed topics on this show before where women have said, oh, I'm not going to build with a man because when I build with a man, the man ends up leaving me. So now, according to some of the stories we've heard that Abimbola allegedly did some rituals. Herself and her husband did some rituals which she had to continue doing so that her husband can be rich, he can make money, his business can flourish, and all sorts of things. Now, for women who are saying that they can never suffer with a man, but here you have other women who are ready to take charms, who are ready to do anything that's diabolical just because they want their husband to progress in whatever career or business that they're doing. Again, if you're an avid follower of this show, you would have seen where we interviewed a lady on the show who came and told us how she ate things like a rat from a calabash and things like that because she wanted her then boyfriend, not even husband, she had a child with him, or her then boyfriend, to progress in the business that he was doing. So the question for today is, why is it that women are not ready to, they say they don't want to suffer with a man, like let's start together, let's do a business together, let's try and build the business legitimately. but yet you're happy to go and do rituals for that man, for that person, to help him at the detriment of your own self. Okay, so Tyler, let me come to you first with that. Why is it that a woman is not ready to start from the scratch with a man, but yet they're ready to just jump the gun and do what they need to do, ritual or not, you know, to help the man to succeed, not themselves or the man? Why do they do that?
It beats me, honestly. I don't know what their rationale or their thinking behind that is. I really would love for one of them to tell me, because I don't think that way. I don't know any reasonable person or any sane person that thinks that way. I mean, if you want to do ritual, do it for yourself, man. I don't understand. Say you cannot be rich. I don't get it. Like, why would you put yourself? I mean, I'm all for, working together, building from scratch. I'm all for that. I'm all for building together. But I don't think I'll be carrying a ritual for anybody. I'm sorry. I have to carry a ritual. It'll probably be for me. I don't think I'll be doing it for anybody. It will be for me, and because I want my family to flourish, not for somebody else. Like, I don't know their thinking behind that. I mean, I guess it's probably to say that, okay, I've done this for you, so when you blow, it's only me you should look after, right? But we know men and they're thinking, not necessarily men, human beings,
Yeah.
You might have gone through that for that person, and then somewhere along the line, when they've actually hammered or blown, they find something else or somebody else that tickles their fancy. So then you've wasted your precious time. Like, I think if Abimbola, may her soul rest in peace. I mean, what happened to her is really tragic. I think if she could turn back the hands of time, she probably wouldn't do that. We live and learn, and she's now been the scapegoat for other people that are thinking that they want to carry Juju for man. I hope that they are seeing it now. See it, oh, this is how it ends up. Because, nothing good can ever come out. I mean, I don't know, because human beings will be human beings. But, we want to hope and pray for the best. But sometimes it doesn't always come out that way. And then, you're left in the dumps,
Okay. Thank you very much, Shadia, for that. Shadia, let me come to you with that. I mean, you've seen the story. We kind of had a chat about the story and everything that happened. When you saw that story, how did you feel? What was going through your mind when you heard everything that happened? And subsequently, what bloggers have been bringing out on a daily?
Oh my God. For me, everything about that lady screams insecurity, low self-esteem, family, daddy issues. We've not heard about her dad. There's something deeper going on with her. I mean, first of all, she got with him very early in life. So there's no father figure to put a stop to that. There's something not right. There's something that we need to dig deeper to understand why she's thinking that way. Or it could be that's what she was grown to see. You understand? That's probably how it is in our family. And I know a lot of people, that's what they worship. And I'm not, we have 3 different types of tradition in Nigeria. That is probably who she is. She's feeling comfortable about it. Why she's not doing it for herself is where the lowest self-esteem and daddy issue comes in for me, because she is so obsessed with him. If you look back at the video she made a few years ago, and why a lot of people are blaming her in quotes, is like, with what happened to her, any normal person wouldn't have gone back. Because she was like, I heard she faked, like she was in a coma, heavily pregnant. If that doesn't shake you to leave, then there's something deeper there that we don't understand. So it could be a covenant between both of them. There's a lot of stuff that I after our talk, that I thought something is not right with this child, and she's not even thinking about her children. And this is what is irritating me with the bloggers. There's just like there's a battle going on about who to side, who not to side, And if you notice, right, after the first a couple of years ago, bringing into light that she was going to domestic violence, right? And I'm not saying this to support the guy. He started making videos after that, right? Apart from the first video of him begging her, crying that he wants to come back home, she shouldn't leave him when he messed up. There wasn't any video of him hurting, of her hitting him. So maybe he thought about it like, oh, I better start making my own videos because I don't know what happened the first time to come out again the second time. So everyone is like videoing each other. It's just a very toxic situation. Something is not, both of them actually, and it could be because they got together young. You know, it's the first love. It takes you longer time to get over the first love, and they've entered so many nonsense together. And we're saying that she took for him. We don't know. She might be doing for herself as well, but because he's the head, you know, she's so in love with him and wants him to be successful. You know, she forgot to do the part that if you cheat on me, you will die. Because that's what I, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Collateral. Yeah.
collateral. I will go Allah, you go swear as well. If I carry, they go mad every 6 months so that it can be reached. Then if you cheat on me, you go die, because even after that, he still had 2 kids outside. So we need to be intentional, we women, with our demands in this whole marriage. You know, if you don't, it's not a do. I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm not even siding any one of them again at this stage. They should have been done with each other a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
disgusting.
Thank you, Shade, for that. Jude, let me come to you. Would you carry Juju, or would you carry Juju, Ebo, whatever they call it? Would you do it for a woman that you love because you want the woman to progress? So you're not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for the woman, hoping that when she makes that money, she will then come and, obviously, knowing that you're her husband, bless you with it.
Really, I'm
I
sorry.
can read your mind. Hell no. He wants to say hell no.
You should explain what Juju is for our non-speaking Nigerians.
Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, so what Juju is, Ebo, they also call it, is when you go and do voodoo rituals, okay? You go to a herbalist or the priest or Juju priest or whatever it is, and they do some concoction.
Everyone knows Juju, man. Everyone knows Juju. Every white people knows Juju.
Exactly. So they do all those concoction, and sometimes they might tell you to eat something or to swallow something, or they might tell you to renew it regularly by putting maybe some yam and palm oil, which they call izobo, whatever they call it, at the 4 junction, and all those kind of things. And make sure there's meat inside, because the elders also like to eat meat. You know, all those kind of things, they put it in there, and then you have to keep renewing it. And in Abimbola's case, allegedly, she had to keep renewing it every 6 months. And there was a video of her where she was going to the market barefoot. I really don't know what that was about, but there people are saying that, you know, that was her renewing the Juju. But Jude, let me come back to you. Would you do anything like what this lady did because of the love she had for her husband, the father of her 5 children? Would you do that for your wife?
That's a no question anyway, because at the end of no, it's not hell no. We do all sorts for love. So you call it Juju. People who go to church is the same thing I see.
Yeah. True.
Women go to church and fast and pray 21 days and not eat. What are they doing? Is that better than the Juju? No, it's not. Because it all borders on laziness and abstract thinking. You should go. The one that goes to church.
When I fast and pray 21 days,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
And your family. If you're
praying, and for my family.
It's the same thing. It's not praying and fasting is not hard work. Forget about whether Juju, the way they've described it these days. You do that in the church. You go climb mountain with whoever. It's the same thing. We do crazy things for love. This is tragic story, and tragic stories really sad. I hope they make this into films later for Netflix. Romeo and Juliet was there. Father Abraham one time described Sarah as his wife, as his sister, and wanted to give her away so that Israel will be safe. So it's the way of the world that it was the wicked sex, as they called it then, who would go do those things to protect the nation or their home. So if I would do anything like that for my wife, maybe not the Juju, but I'll tell you the truth, and I've told my wife before, if I'd have to sleep with other women to make money and take care of us, I would do it. In fact, so that could be classified as a Juju. You see what I mean? If I could go be a male prostitute to do it, I'll do it. Yeah. Why would I allow my wife to go do prostitute and me will not do? I'll sit down on my high chair. No. So if I would allow her to go do it, I'll do it too. I tell her. I'll do it. So it's love. These people, like you said, they've known each other from teenage. There's no teenage years. There's nothing wrong with that. They've known each other. I've known people who've known each other from like that. It's very difficult to come out of those sort of relationships. Over time, maybe depression and mental health set in. But again, we come from a country where it's so failed that we don't have institutions to support this sort of people. Equally, the guy too probably have some sort of depression going on for him. But society is not prepared to save those sort of people. So hence we go what we got. All of these things happen a lot, but they're in the space of society. They have social media. They're able to articulate their deeds and bring it out on the open for people to judge them, which is very, I commend them for that though, because not all of us can put everything out there for people to judge us like what we're doing now. We're bold enough to come out, people make judgments about what we're doing, people critique us, all of that is happened to them. But going back to your question, yes, if it's Juju you call it, I probably would do it. To make us move. If she's the mother of my children, like you said, 5 children. Just one person, both of us.
Thanks for sharing.
I don't know. Now that you said what you said, it's got me thinking. I think Juju, because it has such a negative stereotype. Obviously, I pray for my family all the time. I pray for my husband all the time. I fast on my husband.
Exactly.
But that doesn't have a negative implication on me. Imagine if you tell me, Juju, that I should go and carry one calabash when I know that something could happen to me. No, I won't do.
Of course.
I'm sorry if you find that selfish, but no, I won't do it because it's got a negative repercussion, and I'm not gonna.
Like what you're saying. In conclusion to what you say, I'm agreeing. Like I know, like that's some people's culture, religion, and all that.
Exactly.
But Jude, you, I don't know if you're a Christian, but I as a Christian knows that there's nothing devil gives you that you will not take back. So if I go carry something, what do you want to return? Maybe they've even predicted death or blood would flow.
Yeah.
Not even think about when they were going into it. I know some people, to them, I'm not dissing it. Some people actually worship that. Even in my family, we have people that's what they serve. But growing up, my belief and what my father brought me up with is when you ask anything from the devil, it will take something back in return.
Yeah, of course. That's what
all this thing would not last long, and that's why because whatever God gives you, you don't have to renew it. No. Why do you have to keep renewing things? And like Jude said, mental health is definitely, and drugs is definitely to people, and there's a lot of, they're not just meant to be together, and I don't know why. And I've had people, and I've had this argument all week about why didn't they leave? And like I said, it's not that easy to leave. It's not. People make it sound like, Denny, she should have gone. I mean, she's an idiot. She should have gone, this. And I'm telling them, like, it's not easy.
It's not.
You just sit there because you can leave. Doesn't mean the next person is wired the way you're wired. And then, like I tell this lady that me and her, we had a lot of back and forth over the week. I'm like, you're here. You have supported system to help you move. Back in Nigeria,
there's none.
What do they have apart from it is well? You tell your friend, like, well, fast and pray. The next person say, see, her husband they cheat, or her husband bomb picking, she won't come out. Over here, I've sat down with friends of mine and say, if you leave him tomorrow, go to the council, do this, say this, that, you will get a place. And then you need to. I've had friends that I've spoken to mental health, people to help them get over the trauma. We put the children as well. I've had kids that my friends' children, they slipped. They have different situations, and there are things. I watched the video of the guy chasing his kids out of the house. I saw him saying our son to his first son. I'm not defending her because I've also seen videos of her also doing her own. But I can only speak as a woman that before a woman will strike one time, she's gone through lots before she strikes back. kill me here. And even if she's the one that is striking first, before he strikes back, he's probably had enough. So they're both not meant to be together. End of. And they're not thinking about that. They're both selfish. Bimbo, I know you're dead now, rest in peace, but you're a very selfish woman. And it's low self-esteem that will make you not think that you can build that house again. Or you can buy bigger, like what? But then, like I said earlier, there's nothing like that happening in Nigeria. She's probably thinking of school fees. It runs in millions, because they even said why he's still with her, he hardly pays school fees. There's so many stories, everybody can.
Her family, she took money from her family to help him start up the business and everything. And she then went and did all this juju to help him and had to be renewing it every 6 months. And then on top of that, she found out that he had already had 2 children out of their own marriage.
And so what? Please, your life is more important than that of your children. And so what? And this is what I'm saying. I'm not supporting both of them. Initially, I was with, we talked about I was with her on her side. But and so what? Is that why you have to kill yourself? You did all these things for her, for him. So freaking what? I've seen men that have left houses, money, and just want their life and their name, and said I'm ready to start all over again. If it's bad, it's bad. Why do you want to die because of a house and you have to burn it down? If that's really your and it's not juju money, why do you want to burn it down? I have walked out of a situation where I said I don't want anything. I've said it yes a couple of times. I left. I don't want it. Just leave me. Let me leave for my children. And so what? If you carry juju, carry for yourself next time.
And I think that's where probably the self-esteem comes into it, because she really wasn't thinking about, but I can do this for myself. I think where I and to be honest, I know that, we can't really, because we weren't there, so we can't really say what is true and what is a lie. But even her own brother, I think that's where I thought, you know what? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of truth to what's coming out. Even her own brother said, when he was interviewed by
Daddy Freeze,
her brother said, my sister really did not, because she's worked so hard with this man, she's given up so much, she wasn't going to leave without anything. Like, he said that his sister said that if she dies, I mean, how important that if she dies, or like they both should die together, or and I thought to myself, and leave your 5 children for.
Those talks can be loose talks, though. They can be loose talks.
At what point did she stop to? And no, but for me as a woman, I think that's where I'm not supporting the man. I think everything he's done is rubbish. I think him cheating after this woman has sacrificed so much for you is rubbish. But as a woman, I blame this woman, because I'm like, yes, I understand you were hurt. Yes, I understand the sacrifices. Yes, I understand but at what point did you start to think about your children?
Well, you can understand where she's coming from. You can understand where she's coming from. It's what we've been saying, like what Shade said. If the system was a system that supported, she would never think I would lose it all. It ain't her fault. It ain't her fault at all. I've seen growing up where men would just come and say, hey, get everything from that house, I bought it, and chase the woman out. The system never protected the woman. The man was and is still the most powerful entity in Nigeria. We have wives at home. They will have what we now call side chick. And the side chick will have her own boyfriend. The rich man finds out, you other boys sweep everything from that house, lock up the girl, lock up the guy. It's been like that. It's our system. The police do it. The military guys do it. Politicians do it. Pastors do it. Every man in that society does it. Even my family members. So if the society was supportive, as Shade said, they had supportive institutions. Abimbola, that's her name, right? She would never have gotten to the situation where she said, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything and over my dead body. She won't, because she knows if I left today, the system will say, let's share everything. The system will say, you will pay child support. Which system in Nigeria is going to hold that guy to child support? Which system in Nigeria is going to...
She's left her children now without
a mother,
I know. This is it.
Without a father.
For me, that's just more important than anything else.
But it is very important. It's easy for us to say this, Tyler, because we're in a supportive system. Look what I tell my wife every day. And this is what I've been saying. If tomorrow I find out she's been seeing somebody, boy, bye. I'll grab my bag, they go. If we divorce tomorrow and she says she wants everything, bye. Bye-bye with the kids. Enjoy. I got my passport, I'll start again. Because I'm in a system that supports. That's why I have that thinking. If it was Nigeria, probably I'll be saying, over my dead body, I will kill you, everybody will die. Because that is the system. That is what I know in that system. And she was saying that, and it became what? It became manifest destiny for her. That I would die before this, I would die before that. Our brother who's talking to that, the priest, did he ever support her? What would the family have said to her? My dear Bimbo, you've worked so hard in that place, so you are not living there for another woman. For what? Sandra will not inherit your suffer. This is what we tell our sisters and our daughters all the time.
They will even say, let her come over. But for how long? After the first
month, they put her back.
I've been in a situation where you hear sisters, they love each other so much, but when you're living together, after 6 months, there's fights,
But so apparently they sent her to rehab and she left because the boy was threatening to kill himself.
You see?
This is fatal attraction, love.
That boy was threatening to kill himself in England. We would have sectioned him. We would have sectioned the boy, He won't be threatening himself anyhow.
That's just my own take on that. I just think that.
But the thing about it that I heard as well is, Nigerians like to live a fake life, right? So SCCO said something. I caught a bit of it before they rallied down, where she's saying that people are not coming out to talk and to support their friend, that when they go to club, he buys them drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And in clubs, these drinks are not cheap.
They're not cheap
at all. Before I don't know what they drink, but you just see millions. And 12 million. What is going on? So this is someone has been accused of not paying school fees or leaving money for food, but outside is a good boy. And most men do that as well. The picture outside is a very loving father.
You are very right.
But as well as her, this is where I don't like talking about the death, and I wish we would, after this, we just let it lie and all that. But actually, I heard she had a podcast where she talks about this kind of things and encourage women to stay in their marriages. I don't know if it's true. I'm not listening to them. I'm yet to find this Bimbo. After the first incident that she had, I heard that she's advising young girls to stay in their marriages, that things change, they have to endure. So this is, imagine. So this is what she's going through, is what she's bringing out into the world. And I also heard about that there's drugs involved. She's addicted to drugs and all that. I'm thinking these stories are not adding up. If she doesn't have so much money, how does she have money to buy drugs? And they're saying she's crying for. I know she's crying for help. I believe that she's crying for help. It's just that you cry for help with Nigerians is like you're dead already, because they'll just tell you to pray. You intervene for you, and
I like what you said. It is well institutional.
Well, the type of it is well that I had in my time. I almost things because they just thinking, did you not just hear what I just said to you? Did you not just hear that I am, thinking this way? It is well. It's if you hear other people's own, you thank God for your own. I'm like, really? And then that shuts people up immediately. They don't want to talk about it anymore. And then we want to pretend. And pretending, and that's why sometimes I don't beef go and bed parties and do gele and all that, because they're not happy. Most of them are not happy, because if you're happy, you stay in your houses. I'm not bashing my friends that go to one bed parties, but you will buy ashwabe, you buy gele, you do makeup every weekend just to go and eat jollof rice and amala outside and dance to the song that you can and spend like 250 total every. Are you happy at home? If you're happy at home, take your go out with your husband. They're not happy. So let's, this fake life, hypocrites, most of the Nigerian women, they'll just tell you, oh, everything is well. Man, my husband, we don't fight. They just finished beating the fool right now. But they'll tell you, don't take it. Don't take it at all. He did what? This woman that they're panel beating in her house should be encouraging you to kill your husband. They're everywhere. But we need to put in Nigeria a system where they're helping women going through men. And that's why when Finn came out with Female in Nigeria, I was always there. because they're not judgmental, they're helping, you know, another. We
So they
need
still
something
do
like that.
that?
They still do that, but because
It's
of
really died down.
no, apart from that, when you go there and tell your story, somebody will take it to your family member.
Yeah.
Or, you know, somebody somewhere, they will scream on you. You just say, don't worry, I have this place. They will say, oh, you're supporting women living. You know, Nigerians are hypocrites. I don't even know where to
Legal
start from.
protection
But
does
these
not
people,
exist. They're hypocrites, man. Trust me, I know.
these two people should never have been together after the first 3 children. That last 2, they just like, you just born Peking, just can't suffer them.
Now, waiting
Because those children,
me. For me,
except by God's grace, will
honestly,
they not
it's the kids that is
family?
really hurting me.
Because it's everywhere in the system, it's everywhere in the media. They're going to explain to their partner or their own children. Even ordinary small trauma of people seeing their parents fighting, they still carry. You talk of what these 2 people just put their 5 children into. A 40-year-old boy fighting his father.
Yeah.
That don't kill my mother, and he beat him
Oh,
blue black.
this same guys.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
It's just a mess. And now the bloggers are using it to make money.
Mm-hmm.
That lesson, I can't stand her. I never can stand her anyway because she just annoying. But people coming out to say she wanted to die, even if that was the case, the journey, you're not there from day one with these people. We're not in their homes. We don't know what goes on every day. We don't know how because 1 minute they're doing lovey-dovey. They love each other at the point. They still probably do, or
I think
probably
they
bind it together with Juju.
do. I think in the saddest and sickest possible way, because I can't understand that love. They really, really love each other. Like this woman really could not live without this man. I think that's what and vice versa. And I think even though they knew that they were not good together, they really just couldn't tear themselves apart. And that's where the whole problem is. And my own, it's just the children, or 5 whole, it's the kids. And like I can't even like start to, where do these children start from? Like they've witnessed all this thing. They've
funny.
They've witnessed, you know, the suffering the mom went through, the violence, and now they will even have none of them to console them through the rest of their life.
Earlier today at work, a colleague said
they would have taken those friends from both of them by now. They would have taken those. They would just people just keep quiet. People.
Who their papa be? Who is he? I don't know him.
But he throws money in clubs and has a lot of celebrity as girlfriend, side chick. So he's a very popular person that dash people cars and fake cars. I heard one of the messages said the car wasn't working. But, you know, it's just drama because my friend said our sister is a neighbor to the Bimbo that they're always hearing her screaming. Now, I know a narcissist. I know personally that they poke you. It is you that will be shouting like person that wants to die. And they know how to throw that quiet bomb.
Yeah.
And I'm screaming like a fool.
Yeah.
I had to check. I'm going mad. You know, so I went that. This is to my friend that says she's always the one they hear her voice. When you live with a narcissist, it's different ball game. They will make you think you're the one going mad, but they will keep shooting and poking at you until you lose your head. These people, they are just different kinds of being.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say to that. But they should be together. The mess.
Okay, so thank you very much. So now let's go to the incident that actually led to her death. So apparently what happened was IVD wasn't at home. That's her husband, and the papers to the house. Apparently, this time she really wanted to go, but she didn't want to go empty-handed. So she wanted to take something because she has 5 children to look after, right? So she was at home, and the papers to the house are in the safe. So she got a welder to break the safe open so that she can collect the papers to the house, allegedly, right? Now, while she was doing that, somebody that lives with them, one of their family members, saw what she was doing and contacted her husband to say, this is what's going on, a welder's in the house and they're trying to open the safe to get the house papers. So apparently he drove down like a madman to the house, got to the house. By the time he got to the house, the welder had already succeeded in opening the safe, and she had the house papers with her. And then he started struggling with the papers, trying to collect the papers from her, and he eventually did. And in that rage, thinking that, okay, so I'm now going to thing. So she got she got kerosene. Apparently it was kerosene, not petrol. Now, I don't even know whether this was premeditated, whether she had to go to the back to get the kerosene, or if the kerosene was there. I really don't know. But she got hold of kerosene and started pouring it in the curtain, on the curtains, saying that, okay, well, if I can't have the house, then nobody's going to have it. We'll burn the whole shit down and we will burn in this house together. Allegedly, I don't know how true this is. And now there's different stories. One story, according to Blessing CEO, who we don't know if this is true, she said this victim doused herself with kerosene, right, and wanted to burn herself. And
but her brother also said that. Her brother said that she poured kerosene on
herself. Okay. And because she was expecting that maybe her husband would say, oh, don't do it, don't do it. And then another source also said that it was when she poured the kerosene on the curtains that the thing was splashed on her, right? So by the time she lit the match, the fire started, and while she and her husband were dragging, her husband pushed her. I don't know, allegedly. And obviously, because she had kerosene on her body, it caught fire. I mean, I don't know how true this is, but I mean, what would make a woman go that far?
You said it already, it's love.
What would make a woman go that far? We're talking about
love, craziness, drug, everything. But the issue there is not even what happened now with the fire and all. The fact that she was dragging a piece of paper, that again is a failure of the system.
Yeah.
This our mortgage we own is my wife's name. There's no physical paper I want to grab that will cut her out of it. There's no physical paper she wants to grab that will cut her out of it. So that's why I said for society to grow, you have to have these schisms in them. You have to have all this wahala. It is what comes out of the wahala, the solutions that makes the society. Now, people have been dragging papers from before they born me. People in the burial, they would say, oh, the senior son has the papers, and they will start chasing with cutlass. We've been chasing papers in Nigeria for more than 200 years, and the system still hasn't changed. Why paper? You didn't need to change paper because that paper tied her to the thing. The physical paper tied her to everything. If there was a system that said, it's two of you who own the assets, two of you, and the courts could stand and argue that later, that woman wouldn't have waited to grab any paper. She would have bounced out of the crib and leave the physical things like the car. The court will decide. The system failed the woman as it continues to fail every woman in Nigeria. I don't blame the lady at all. She was fighting for survival. It was how best she knew how to fight. Again, like I said, I don't know her parents. They might have said to her, don't leave that, somebody else will inherit it. Is that not what a lot of our parents tell their children? So the system totally failed her. Whether love, drug was involved, it was the system. If my wife kicked me out of my house today, I know a neighbor here who him and the wife had issues after they had a child. And the wife called the police. I want my husband out of this house. And the police came and the guy just kept quiet. They didn't fight or anything, but I think it was postnatal depression. Postnatal is after you had a baby, right?
Yes.
I think it was that set in and she just got frustrated. Everything was falling apart. And the guy said, this is my flat. I had this flat before she came in. And the police had to just check systems. Here is your flat, madam, see ya. They took her to a place that was safe for her before she went back to her family, before she got settled. But Nigerians don't have that system. Hence, Bimbo was trying to hold on to the physical paper because if she had succeeded, the IVD or whatever his name is would be out there begging for her to come back again. So that is all she had as a weapon.
Yeah.
And that weapon killed her. So the system failed the woman and subsequently failed the children.
I agree that, that's literally all she had. And like you said, what else can she do? I agree, but one cannot just help but think you know, and they say it's too late to cry when the head is cut off, or how do they say it? You know, one can just not help but think, what if? You know, what if you walked away? What if? Because obviously we won't be having this discussion. You know, it will be that you're fighting him through the courts or whatever. Because she has 5 kids. Obviously, she has to live somehow. I'm sure there'll be no court. No, actually, let me. You can never say for Nigeria, anything can happen. So let me know so that there'll be no courts that will not favor her. But it's just too late to say I don't know, you know, because I really wish that she had a different feeling, you know, and had stayed alive, you know, to fight properly for once. I think Nigeria, the system is just so corrupt, and obviously the system has made us that way, that we always want to take laws into our own hands. You know, thinking that you can go and grab papers. And
apparently the guy was very well connected as well, because they reported the issue at the police station. They summoned him at 2 different police stations and he didn't turn up. If they summon you here in the UK at the police station and you don't turn up, they give you a time frame. If you don't turn up, there'll be a warrant out for your arrest. If you're driving, you get pulled over by the police, you're going straight to the police station. So why was it that even though he was summoned to 2 different police stations, he didn't turn up and nothing was done about it? Again, when you look at it, the system failed her in a way, because maybe if he was reprimanded and the whole scenario, the whole thing was investigated, maybe he would have been in prison and he wouldn't even be out to be a turn on her flesh and drive her to this level where she felt that she needed to get something for her children by taking the house papers. And the thing is, I mean, again, this same guy, apparently, Tunde Ednot said that they'd advertised the car because he wanted Tunde to advertise for him, and he sent Tunde a picture of a car and said, "Oh, let's you know, I'll give you this car to give to one of your followers." I remember the car that was advertised. It wasn't any 4x4 or any Jeep or any kind of car like that. I think it was a blue car, if I remember it correctly. And Tunde advertised that car and said he was going to give it to a winner or something like that. And apparently, you know, somebody won the car and this guy never gave Tunde the car. And Tunde had to go and spend his own money to buy the winner a car. And
good for Tunde, ain't that how they all live their life? That's how they live their life in Lagos. It's all fake life. So good for Tunde. I don't pity him. It's how they live their life in Lagos. Fake people. It's all fakery.
Well, how was Tunde to know that this guy was not going to give him the car?
Tunde should know because he moves around with these people. He too lives a fake life, so he should know that. They all live fake life. These guys, half a majority of them were all ordinary fraudsters and Yahoo boys, and even drug dealers and cultists. Social media has made them polish the money small. They can't want to do it. And we know them. If he's rolling with Burna Boy, it's probably an Aye. Let's not be mixing words here. They're all cultists, fraudsters, Yahoo boys, even all of them who sings these days, all of them who came from Malaysia, Ghana, they all commit atrocities. Was Patoranking not rolling with the guy who they caught recently as a kidnapper? These guys all live fake lives. They know each other. They know each other, but they don't come now and be telling us this. He knew. Why didn't he bring it out all this time? They don't out each other because they all know the lives they live. They roll together. They know what they do. So I don't pity any of them. I don't even know any of them.
Right. Let me just add this little bit of it too. My take is that I think women, we need to start, you know, educating each other, supporting each other about getting a better job and not giving birth to children you can't take care of. Nigeria.
No, it's true. It's true, you know.
I hear that, but just thinking about those.
It's
children.
true.
Yeah, you're putting the burden on women.
No, I'm
not. Put the burden on men.
No, but you know what? It's not
my body. So if I don't want to get pregnant, I would not get pregnant.
Absolutely.
So we need to educate them that you need to understand some, because in Nigerian society, now the man might get the children. They would, because
but now the woman will use that children.
They will use that protection, they will use everything to get the children, and the woman will be left with nothing. And then if you now fight to take the children, they won't even pay child support or anything, and then you are suffering. And that's why most women are stuck in there. So we need to start educating women and looking for means to support them to get out of there. If they're not, you know, I'm not saying every woman should now say, oh, he slapped me, or I won't even take slap, but he tell me, shut up, I'm leaving my husband's house. But if they can take care of themselves, so there are two types of women in Nigeria: the ones that have made it so much they can't live under a man, and the ones that live their life for the man. So the way I'm thinking about it is, if I can carry Juju for you, I'll carry for myself. I will leave your house. That is how
Maybe Juju don't work for singles now, work for couples.
Don't use our,
don't use our different types. 9 go day.
I'll say that is use our destiny. Our destiny is finished. That's why she wants
to
again,
you see the society where we come from. A woman makes it. We call her sort of when she's still single. Now that's why she would have wanted to do it as a couple, as a unit, so that the glory is for both of them. If she did it by herself and was out in the streets, they will call her names.
Yes, that's why she wants to die, because the same people that would say, why didn't she leave, are the same people that will say, oh, she cannot stay in her husband's house.
Exactly. That's why you see all the time I try to call the guys out, because I know what we do. I know what the guys do. Fraudsters, honorary Yahoo boys, honorary courtists, drug dealers in Malaysia, coming back to do and live as if they're all island boys now, like Tinubu. These are riffraffs from fringes of society. Riffraffs who can't even stem a sentence.
But now the problem is, though, Jude, if they're not fraudsters, if they're not Yahoo boys, if they're not what they are, I'm not trying to support them. I'm just saying, what else would they do? It's back down to the system.
No. It goes down to the system.
As much as I don't support IVD,
but it goes down to the system.
Whatever his name.
It goes down to the system. But do you in this society that is sane, do you respect those sort of people? You yes, exactly what I'm saying. We should frown upon them instead of glorifying the idiots.
We do, absolutely.
But we don't.
So Tunde Ednot glorifies the idiots.
Buys our drinks in the club. We don't.
Exactly.
And I saw a video of our mom fighting with him.
Yeah.
And there was a statement saying, this is my Pekin house. See that mentality?
Exactly.
The mom is saying that that's my Pekin house. You should leave. You know, but if they come from a family like mine, they'll tell you, pack your pin and come back home. She will know that she's supported. You understand? That my father would tell his sisters, they slap you, come back to my house. At the point, it was becoming to look like our house is where all of them come to. Because then you will deal with that man. Honestly, because if that's what your worry is, I am like your father, I'm telling you to come back home, because it was far older than all his siblings. So if we have a system like that, where our parents will not be fighting for, and then it's all like that, it's all burnt, right? He's probably going to sell it. So what? And then she's dead, and there's 5 children. It's just like we need to educate ourselves, and our parents need to understand that their time is not like our time.
No, but again, the moral decadence is gone. It's really gone that way compared to our people. My mom was in a similar situation. She walked out on my dad with 5 of us. She didn't die there as top level my dad was there. My mom didn't fight at that time. So I'm talking 1984. That's when we left, and she brought us to Benin, and we're here and hot because of my mom's stubbornness anyway. She said, your dad will never get hold of you guys, even when the guy was one of the toughest civil servants and was willing to support mom, no grace. She was stubborn. Knowing what I know now, if I knew then, I would have run to go look for this man because he had money. You see what I'm saying? Because we suffered a lot. But so our parents then, like you said, they had the money.
My mom said, okay, take your children. And she went having fun. So when they finish, they'll find me. So we have.
So you see, yeah, exactly.
And you did. You went to look for her.
But this day and age is different.
I said you went and you found her, right? Your mom.
Are you joking? Let me start my family story on there.
I was gonna say I wasn't going to look for such mom. Sorry, but
it's not even like that. But like Jude was saying, calling out men, there are some men that will use their power. My father was not ready to let go of anyone.
Yeah, I get that.
Would not, don't even try me. That's what he's told her, you know. And so there are men like that she can't even come 100 yards to where we were, you know. Even our ears were dropped. You see how you run and you call the police. Yeah, that kind of, it was bad. It was so even, of course, some of us went to behind when we grew up, when we were in uni to, check up on her. But, and that's why when I look at men, they're like, oh, you can take care of your child if you want to. If the woman is acting up, take your children. Because there's some crazy women as well that do drugs, that want to party, they don't want to be a mother, and you feel like you're a better parent. That just children should be your number one priority. Take care of your children. So don't they do all this when we say is a man, so don't give your child. No, the father should be if the father is a good man, then he should be in the child's life.
But can I just ask though, why, given that the mom was the main carer for the children, would it have been such a bad idea, given how toxic the relationship was? Would it have been such a bad idea for IVD to actually say, you know what, I'll leave you and the children in the house. I'll just leave you guys and go somewhere else? Would that have been such a bad idea?
No, it wouldn't have been. Absolutely not. It's just that him himself, he's a crackhead. So what do you expect from a crackhead? Absolutely nothing. And that's what we got. He's useless. So yeah.
I heard that he's not even living in the house. He lives with his side chick. He was called from there. He hasn't been there for.
Those guys, they have life so easy, man. If I can move in with a side chick in London, boy, for nice, so 2 weeks for side chick, 2 weeks for
2 weeks for house.
For lovely. They have life so easy.
You go pay split bill.
Exactly. We don't have that luxury. I can't afford it.
But you know what? That's what our fathers used to do in the olden days. Though.
Exactly.
Remember, my grandfather had 7 wives, and if you mess up, and you do something he doesn't like, he goes and stay with other number 1, number 3. He will give you space. Like, I say, it's my now. You have suffered with 3 months. Places that they go, it's that they married them, but now side chicks are like.
London's too expensive, but you can't do that.
Should have just seen as he was with the side chick. Should have just been like, okay, no problem. Mind her business with the children. He probably wouldn't have even come back. Or when he does, he would, he would probably be in a better. If she had focused on herself.
Talia, it goes back to the fact that she's built a lot with the dude. Whatever she's done behind the scenes that people call diabolical.
We don't know.
Whatever, through her hard work, they've built a lot together. And a system that doesn't support or recognize what the woman has contributed, that system failed her. So she had to hold on to what she could hold on to, which was the physical she saw.
So what I was saying is, the guy had been in his side chick's house for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If she had just quietly stayed in the house with her kids.
But it wasn't.
This guy is with his side chick. Let him be with his side chick.
But he wasn't supporting them, and then you can imagine every day you're hearing your husband is spending millions in club, or he has 81 lady, or he's giving her one brand new car. You'd be annoyed as a woman.
You go quietly sell the house now.
How you want to sell for Nigeria? Talia, you ever lived in Nigeria? You ever lived in Nigeria?
If she get the papers, not to the extent that I don't really know much.
It is very difficult for a woman in Nigeria to sell property.
Okay.
It's easier to ask for the husband or the father or the brother.
You can't even rent a house.
It is what it is. Very difficult. She wouldn't have got anybody to pay for that. But it would have been very easy for the guy to flog the property. So there's a lot against the woman being in Nigeria. Fact.
It's just really unfortunate.
The system.
It's true. I remember when I left school and I was working in Banana Island and I needed an apartment closer to work. All the places I went to, they wouldn't rent the house for me until I went to the guy and said he was my fiance.
Simple. All of that is stacked against the woman, so she couldn't have done anything with the papers except there was a guy with her, or her father, or her brother,
or loyal.
So everything is just stacked up against her. So
it's a shame. I mean, it's a big shame, and unfortunately, this lady is now gone.
Sorry, can I just ask?
Sure.
Because I'm off the social media for like a day or two. So, what exactly is Blessing CEO's problem?
I don't know. I don't know whether allegedly IVD is paying her to do damage control.
To feel important.
Yeah, she said she's she called herself something, the relationship counselor for IVD or some shit.
Therapist,
yeah. that she gave herself.
Another question is, has the police invited him? Have they found him?
Yeah.
Why is he
he's been arrested.
They found him. He's been arrested, apparently.
Oh, okay. So I was just wondering, all these videos are, to be honest, are evidence. If he wants to use in court, it shouldn't be out in the air. everywhere.
So-called CEO, blessing or blessing CEO, she's not the Matt Clifford of Nigeria. Yeah,
Don't mind her. She's cloud
paid
chasing.
for
damage control consultant.
I definitely think the guy has a manslaughter case to answer. I'm not really sure about murder.
The police are going to
because
bungle everything.
it's a little bit
Everything.
iffy.
And trust Gislova. Gislova is bringing it out there. Like he's going deep.
Look,
Sorry, Shade.
if they make me
I heard-
the Attorney General of Nigeria, a lot of these people who call themselves celebrity, they will
Look.
never come out on TV again. Yeah, people.
a
They
lady,
don't understand nothing.
Shade, what did you say?
I said I heard that he has a police commissioner friend, but
Of
apart from
course.
somebody's killed somebody once, and I hear that our family were trying to take her out of the country. I can't remember the story again. Maybe I don't know if we trashed it. It was a few years ago in Ibadan.
Yeah.
So I don't trust our system.
No.
I won't be working free tomorrow. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm just saying that he needs to answer some questions.
He does. I think he definitely has a manslaughter case to answer. I think definitely he has a hand in it. Whether she touched herself or whatever, he has contributed to her feeling that way. So he definitely has something to answer for. Murder, that might be reaching a bit, seeing as, you know, even her brother has come out to say that she poured the kerosene on herself. But I definitely can believe that there was a struggle, and then in that struggle, she stumbled, and then, you know,
that's believable.
And I can 100% believe that. And if that's what happened, then he definitely has something to answer for. He shouldn't just go scot-free. Should spend at least 15 years hard labor in Nigeria prison, making heads.
And apparently, Jason CEO also brought out some story where she was saying that the sister that is coming on Instagram to cry, the sister never really liked her. The sister and her went talking. The sister doesn't like her kids. The sister was owing her about 18 million naira allegedly. I don't know how true all of this is, but I mean, her twin sister, by the way, you know. So I really don't know.
Oh, Bimbo was a twin.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, yeah, her twin sister.
That is an old story. That is an old story. Things you share with your husband in bed that my sister is not talking. Because who was in that video? It's between and I heard a best friend too was talking about her as well. Trash. Apparently, this Bimbo is not really a good person. God forgive me for saying, because she's dead now. Because a lot of friends, I have friends that are telling me, why are you supporting her? Why are you putting that? The girl is too much. I said, okay, fine. But something led to that. You know, when a 15 years old is not with her parents, not a mother, or even if she's a mother, she's not molded properly on how to be a woman, a successful woman. And
you know how long I've left my mother's house? I think if you're gonna be a good person, you'll be a good person regardless.
And apparently, just even brought out some story about her father. Allegedly, her father, I mean, I don't know how true this is, and I'm not trying to purport rumors. Her father allegedly was wanted, was it for fraud or murder or something like that?
For fraud,
And then he then also impregnated their house help.
The house girl.
Oh, what did I say? What did I say at the beginning? It's a very good tragic story for Nollywood or Hollywood. They need to sell them to Netflix. It's a beautiful story.
He left the house and he wasn't in the house, and I think maybe the mother raised them. I really don't know. But then again, you hear stories that she wasn't going to school. She was collecting the school fees her parents were giving her to food the boys' bill. So I really don't know what's true. There are lots of stories out there, and the whole thing is very messy. And as I said at the beginning of this video, there's so many branches to this. It's difficult to put it together, and I think we've tried as much as we can. But on that note, we're going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining us. For women out there, we've said it so many times on this show, do not rely on your husband. There is a level for which you should be able to rely, because as the man, they want to feel like, okay, you know, our wife rely on us and for us to provide. But at the same time, if push comes to shove and you need to move, you need to leave that relationship because it has become violent, it has become toxic. Don't stay because you cannot financially afford to move. Do something for yourself. All this soft life, baby girl life, I want to be taken care of, I want to be looked after. Last, you will end up in the casket 6 feet below, and another woman.
I want to be taken care of.
Okay.
I need soft life too. But I need
But
soft
try
life
and have
plenty.
your own money. Try and make your own money. Even if your husband, even if you're not working, put money on the side. When your husband gives you money, put money on the side. Because unfortunately, this is what marriage has become these days. This is what relationship has become these days. It's like you have to have a plan B. And if you don't have a plan B, you end up in a very difficult situation. You know, but anyway, thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you again same time next week on the same channel. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye guys. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye.